Welcome to the last video you'll need to watch to make a decision between Noom or Weight Watchers. You'll not only get side-by-side breakdowns of the entire programs, but also a nutritionist analysis on what's behind the success stories you hear for Weight Watchers and Noom, and what's really going on with the negative reviews so you know whether to take them seriously or not.
Hi Vivo fam, this is Richa and Lucy, nutritionists at CoachVivo.com. To keep getting science-backed, practical videos like this every week, hit the subscribe button and click that bell icon right now. I'd also like to announce that we're hosting a series of free Conquering Cravings workshops. Wait until the end of this video for the details on that. Now with that, let's get started.
Let's start with the thing that people tend to scroll first, and what am I getting at is the price. We'll do a side-by-side comparison of Noom and Weight Watchers. Onboarding. Noom asks questions about your stats, goals, and habits. Weight Watchers ask questions about your stats, goals, and habits. Eating plan. Noom has calories that are changeable based on how fast you want to lose weight, and a red, yellow, green feedback system so you learn how nutritious foods are in addition to how many calories, since high calorie alone does not mean poor nutrition necessarily, so like cheese for instance. Weight Watchers. Based on your answers, you are put into one of 3 eating plans. The green plan offers more smart points than other plans and 100 or more 0-point foods to choose from. The blue plan offers middle of the spectrum smart points and over 200 0-point foods. And the purple plan is the most limited of smart points, but over 300 0-point foods. In all the plans, you don't use up all of your smart points. You can bank up to 4 of them for the next day. You also get weekly points, which you can use on days you want to go over your daily points. If you exercise, you get fit points, which are added to your daily smart points. But this is optional, and you can choose not to apply fit points to your daily smart points. Food and activity tracker. For Noom, yes, they have it, but it's more limited than Weight Watchers. For Weight Watchers, yes, and it's more extensive than Noom. Recipes database. For Noom, yes, but more limited than Weight Watchers. And for Weight Watchers, yes, and more extensive than Noom's. Community. Noom, yes, it has one, but not a community with everybody. What Noom does is puts you in a group with a few others who become your community. For Weight Watchers, yes, you can interact with the whole Weight Watchers community in the app. Group coaching. For Noom, yes, your group will have a group coach who mainly shares tactics and motivations with the group. Users say no real deep dive coaching happens here though. For Weight Watchers, yes, if you choose the digital plus workshop plan, you have access to local workshops, which is virtual in 2020 right now, where you weigh in, get peer support, as well as guidance from a coach. One-on-one coaching. For Noom, yes, you are assigned a goals specialist who checks in every week to change your goal targets as needed. However, many users say the goal specialist mainly just talks about goal setting and not much help is given to develop strategies on how to stick to those goals. Users have also said that after you pay, the goal specialist becomes harder to get a hold of and frequency may taper down to once every 3 to 4 weeks. For Weight Watchers, yes, but the experience varies depending on which plan you're on. The digital plan has a 24/7 chat option, and that is advertised to connect you with a coach at any time. But actual experience reported by most users is that it's mainly helpful for tech and customer support. Actual coaching is canned and not deep enough to be helpful. The coaching plan, on the other hand, connects you with an actual Weight Watchers coach who you can connect with weekly over the phone. You can shop around and start, and once you find a good fit, you can make that person your dedicated coach. Accountability incentive. For Noom, there's really none. But for Weight Watchers, you get wellness wins and tracking, weighing in, and attending workshops, which you can then trade in for things like yoga mats, cookbooks, etc., and you get them delivered to your home for free. Note that your actual results don't matter. You earn these wellness wins just for the act of consistently tracking, weighing in, and attending workshops. Teaching. For Noom, yes, and this is one of their biggest selling points. They provide a 16-week program with post-core curriculum work, which is delivered as daily content. For Weight Watchers, yes, but it is not delivered in a structured manner via the Weight Watchers app the way Noom does. Instead, you have 2 options. In the app, you can go searching for relevant articles to help you develop strategies for meeting your smart points. Or if you choose the workshop plan, the workshops will hand you guidebooks and teach you lessons on topics like portion control and carbs, etc. And price. For Noom, right now it's $59 a month and cancel anytime. And you can choose longer subscription plans for more discounts. For Weight Watchers, they have a digital plan starting at $19.95 a month plus a $20 starter fee. And the digital and workshop plan is $44.95 a month plus the $20 startup fee. Finally, the digital plus coaching plan is $54.95 a month. Longer subscription plans for each plan has more discounts attached.
Now let's analyze the positive reviews, aka success stories for both. What stands out to me is the mindset with which the reviewer states they approached their chosen program. If you have these 5 mindsets and you pick a science-backed program that helps you develop your mindset and psychology in a way that fits you, you're pretty much guaranteed to succeed. Number 1. They took self-responsibility of their success and didn't just completely rely on Weight Watchers or Noom to hand them success on a golden plate. For example, they talk about actually pre-logging to allocate their calories or smart points better. They weren't just tracking without a plan. Number 2, they had a growth mindset. What this means is that they didn't think their character was lacking or they were bad people if they didn't meet their goals. They took their failure to meet a goal as feedback and used that feedback to plan better for the next time. Number 3, they didn't try to be perfect. You're never going to be 100% accurate in finding your calories or smart points, especially if you're eating out. They didn't let perfection stop them. They did the best to find an accurate enough entry and moved on. Number 4, they took breaks. Weight loss is a long journey. Trust me, you're going to want to take breaks, not only because of holidays and vacations, but also purely for your own mental sanity. And that's exactly what these stories did. And the last one, and number 5, they truly committed to a lifestyle change. As a coach, I see this often. People say they want a lifestyle change, but when it comes down to actually committing to a weight loss rate that studies have proven to be sustainable, and upon reaching the goal weight, maintainable forever, they balk and want the instant gratification of fast weight loss rates, even if it shoots them in the foot in the long run. Note how the success stories not only said they want lifestyle change, but actually followed through with their actions by committing to a weight loss rate that's sustainable. And this is what gets lost in all the marketing hype. Let me be real. If you have ever taken a copywriting class, which is basically the art of writing ad copy, it teaches you to tell your audience to externalize blame for their failures, because then they'll be more likely to buy from you. In some cases, that's valid if you bought a program based on shoddy scientific and psychological grounding, but there also are many cases where that's not true. This is why you see so many reviews that say they didn't succeed the first time they tried a program, but succeeded the second time. It's not the program that has changed, it's them that has changed. Now, of course, a good program can make you aware of your own limiting mindset and psychology, but you have to be open to hearing it.
Now let's talk about the top complaint against each program in the negative reviews. I'm going to divide these into practical complaints and philosophical complaints. So let's start with practical complaints. The number 1 complaint against Weight Watchers is weight loss plateaus can happen much too easily due to overeating of the 0-point foods. This is a common dead end on Weight Watchers actually. A lot of our students who have come from Weight Watchers landed in exactly the situation before coming to us. And the fact is, while smart points make meal choices feel easier, if you're prone to indulging on the 0-point foods, you'll be frustrated with weight loss plateaus frequently. Some Weight Watcher reviewers also complain that when they try to go to workshops and ask for help when stuck like this, they don't get much help since on paper, their smart points wise, everything looks good. This is especially a problem if you're in your last 10 to 15 pounds, where smaller calorie amounts start making more and more of a difference between a week of progress versus plateau or gain. Noom, on the other hand, since it gives your actual calories, you can tell when you're overindulging on otherwise 0-point foods and see how you can get unstuck. So it's a more clearer, fuller picture of what to do to get unstuck. The number 1 complaint against Noom is the gap between what they're promising coaching-wise versus what they deliver. As I mentioned while doing the side-by-side comparisons earlier, the group coach is mainly a cheerleader and doesn't actually coach you. And the goals specialist mainly sets goals without much strategizing help. And once you pay, it starts to become less accessible. So if you're someone who wants a good, dedicated coach, Noom may not be the horse to bet on. Weight Watchers, on the other hand, with its workshop and coaching plans, is reviewed to have far more dedicated coaching and support. Now let's move on to the philosophical complaints. Most of these seem to be voiced in videos from dietitians who believe that any program with rules and tracking and weigh-ins is diet culture. And by diet culture, what they mean is that rules, tracking, and weigh-ins cause obsessive behavior, which can lead to unhealthy relationships with food and with our bodies. And when you read these comment sections of these videos, you see a whole bunch of commentators talking about how their lives have changed for the better on Weight Watchers, Noom, and other programs, and they don't feel trapped or anxious at all. So what's happening? These seem like dramatically opposed statements. This is where the mindset Richa talked about earlier comes into play. Rules, tracking, and weigh-ins in themselves are not good or bad. They just are. It is our mindset in psychology that dictates what happens. Some of us become obsessed with these things, like these dietitians say, while others, like the commentators, were able to focus on the long-term process and not see each day or weigh-in as personal judgments, and as a result, not become obsessed. In Rich and my experience as coaches, each of these methods, calorie counting, smart points, mindful or intuitive eating, only work when the people are ready for them. I personally tried intuitive eating and as one of my early methods, and I was trying to lose weight, but the whole stop eating when your body tells you to stop, it didn't really work because I couldn't hear my body. In fact, my body seemed to be telling me to keep eating. The fact is, I just wasn't at a point in my journey where I was ready for intuitive eating. I practiced the other methods first, which the rules were easily discernible to me so that I could actually follow them. And then I circled back to intuitive eating towards the end of my journey, and I practice it now during maintenance because now finally I can hear my body and I can hear it telling me to stop. The fact is, there isn't going to be one method that takes you from start to finish. You need to find the right method at each stage of your journey, master it, and graduate it so that you can go on to the next stage of your journey, and so on. And this is what reality looks like.
Okay, so if Noom and Weight Watchers are your only options, which one should you choose? Here's the criteria list I recommend using, and you want to add up the points in this criteria list. The first criteria: which is your bigger barrier? Is it portion control, in which case give 1 point to Noom, or is it quality of foods, in which case give 1 point to Weight Watchers? Criteria number 2, what is your situation? Are you in the last 10 to 15 pounds, in which case give 1 point to Noom, or do you have more than 15 pounds to lose, in which case you can give 1 point to both of them? Criteria number 3, which is more important? Peer and code support, in which case give 1 point to Weight Watchers, or is it self-study course, in which case give 1 point to Noom? Next criteria, what is your psychology right now? Calories make me anxious, in which case give 1 point for Weight Watchers, or are you neutral or positive about calories, in which case 1 point to both of them. Now, just add up the Noom and Weight Watchers points you just noted down, and whichever adds up to be more, that's probably the one for you. I'm curious what result you got and if you agree with it. Tell me in the comments below.